Welcome back to 22 News in Focus. Today we are talking about casinos, and we've been speaking with Jim Allen, the chairman of Hard Rock International, and the company's proposal for building a casino on the property at the Eastern States Exposition in West Springfield. And joining the conversation now, we have West Springfield Mayor Greg Neffinger. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you again. Thanks for coming back. So this is a major proposal we're talking about here for the Big E. Mayor, first off, are you for or against this project?
Well, that's a question I'm asked quite a bit, and it's a difficult question sometimes to answer because really from an architectural background, every project I ever used to work on was always there's good and there's bad, there's positives and negatives. And really what I always had to do was to show the client what are the negatives and can the positives outweigh the negatives, or are they willing to take away some of the negatives? So there's always conflicting ideas. So what we're trying to do is bring out all the issues so that the people of West Springfield, those who are for it can see why they're really for it. Those who are against it, may actually find better ideas that they're against it. And those who are in the middle, they can go either way. But really, we want to get all the information out to the people so that they can really make that decision, an informed decision. And so really, I feel as mayor of West Springfield, my job is to be a facilitator to really help get all those ideas out.
What are some of the major concerns you're hearing? We spoke about traffic. What about the surrounding businesses? I mean, has anyone come to you with any concerns about this so far?
Well, absolutely. So some of the biggest one that I hear from people is traffic. Now, fortunately, we have the Big E comes 17 days out of the year, so we already know that the South End Bridge and with Six Flags, the South End Rotary is going to be a problem. That has to be addressed. Memorial Bridge and the Memorial Rotary, also Route 5, how people travel along that, how will they actually get to the site? All these are known quantities. Now, the casino is open 24 hours a day, whereas the Big E would have problems, let's say, at 10 in the morning and at 9 o'clock at night. So we need to study those traffic patterns and to find out exactly when will be the heaviest traffic in West Springfield and how can we solve those. And if things can't be solved, can the people of West Springfield live with those problems? And so these, again, are the things we want to get out to the people.
Okay, so when do you think we'll be seeing some of these clear cut? You mentioned the traffic. I mean, do you think that we're going to be looking at new highway access ramps, widening roads we already have? What is the thought process
I think all those options are certainly on the table from a Hard Rock perspective, but most importantly, I think we want to work with the mayor and city council and the host committees, obviously of West Springfield and the surrounding communities, to get their input, as the mayor stated, so that we understand the local issues and try to make sure they are incorporated, into our particular designs. When we look at this project I mentioned earlier, that is priority number one, to make sure that we can be the solution to enhance some of the existing infrastructure, assuming the local municipalities in the county are receptive to it, so that it can not only be a plus for access to our site, but also to maybe some of the roads that have been around for many generations.
Has there been any reaching out to any of the businesses in that area? Some people will say when they go to casinos, they go to the restaurants at the casino, which is great for Hard Rock. But what about those local restaurants here?
Well, actually, I just had lunch in one of the local restaurants, so there will be a tremendous benefit, as a facility, assuming if it were approved and we were honored to be selected, because the local ripple effect of all the construction, of all the different vendors in the area that we'll need goods and services from. So I think that answer is 100% yes. I've been in the industry since '79, and I have just seen so many people do so well through the benefit of a project like this, $800 million of true capital investment, coming into a particular area.
Okay, yeah, what would we be talking about money-wise? How would this change the finances of West Springfield, the tax base and all of that?
Well, right now, the Eastern States Exposition pays about $500,000 in taxes. That's not a well-known fact. Also, during the Big E, they pay about $1.2 million to the city of West Springfield. We're talking about now in taxes tens of millions of dollars in taxes coming into the city of West Springfield because of a project like this, in property taxes, hotel room taxes, things of that nature. So between the taxes and the revenue, we're talking about a significant amount of money. So, you know, this is something that we need to quantify exactly what it will be that will be coming in. So these are anecdotal stories. I hear some people say 30 million, some people saying 50 million, but we're probably looking more realistically around $20 million coming into the city of West Springfield. But also we're talking about the jobs, we're talking about the services, who's going to clean the linen, who is going to be providing fresh vegetables, various things like that. This has a potential to really do the whole region a big economic plus. Again, we want to get that out to the people. We don't want to make a pie-in-the-sky promises. We want to say, this is what we've seen in Philadelphia, this is what we've seen in Hollywood, Florida, this is what we've seen in other parts of the country, so that people can really see what can they realistically expect that a casino in West Springfield would have on the region.
And you said that, you know, this building, off camera, you were mentioning just how it's so tall, it's not something, we may need to look at our resources and what we actually have and what we may need to invest in the future to handle a big resort.
Absolutely.
Like this,
From
right?
public safety, firemen have not had to deal with a building of this size before, so we're going to have special training for them, maybe special equipment, more firefighters. Same thing with the police, more people coming into West Springfield. How will we handle all the public safety? It's going to be a concern of ours. Also, we want to put a dollar amount on that and say, okay, so much will be coming in taxes. How much do we need to spend every year for public safety? We want to get that out and let the people see so that they can vote, you know, for it or against it, but let them make an intelligent choice.
And this would be all of West Springfield that will be voting, right?
That's correct. All of West Springfield would be voting for this issue.
Okay. And what about that protected land, actually? The Natural Heritage sort of marked some of the land on the Big E as protected land. Would that impact your proposal in any way?
Not at all. I think, first of all, if you look at the Hard Rock brand, created in 1971, there are two core values and mission statements: save the planet and love all, serve all. When people look at our philanthropic efforts on a historical basis, they are truly second to none. So when we talk about the environment, it is truly one of the foundation blocks of the business, is to make sure that we protect the environment and save the planet. The good news is that, frankly, with 38 acres, we have the ability to design a building, because there's such a great piece of land, that will not affect, you know, any of the particular protected species or plant life or whatever it may be. In addition, the two little, you know, wetlands, if you will, are not even part of our ground lease. So we certainly want to work with the Big E, obviously with the mayor and city council and you know, any of the environmental protection agencies, to make sure that it can be enhanced and certainly no way disturbed.
Okay, and since you're going to be building on the parking lot, that takes away Big E parking. So what are some of the plans here? I mean, the parking lot must be, or some kind of a parking garage. Talk to us about some of the details that are.
I think number one, a parking garage, and certainly one of the things which we are committed to is that we do not want to build a concrete parking garage that looks like it's in the middle of a city environment, if we will. So we use the term a decorative skin, if you will. So we'll make sure that it fits the palette of New England, of West Springfield, so that it becomes a complement, not just this large, you know, slab of concrete, if you will. That's number one. Then certainly when you start going vertical, you have the ability very quickly to take into account any spaces that have been displaced by the overall footprint of the building. You know, in addition, we've said that we're certainly receptive to look at other ideas and methods, including land in the area, to continue to grow the site so that we can not only, as I mentioned earlier, address the access issue, but address the parking issue.
Okay, and we were talking about the host agreement earlier as well. Mayor, what do you think is going to be included in that for West Springfield, for surrounding communities as well? We mentioned in the last segment just the Agawam's concerns about this. How do you think that will what that will end up looking like?
Well, we really look at this as a real regional project. And again, as an architect, I look at this and I say, let's imagine what this can be. Do we really want to see West Springfield as part of the entertainment industry? And if we do, what will it look like 20 years from now? What will be the impact on Springfield, on Agawam? There's land across the Westfield River in Agawam. Could that possibly be part of that? How do we solve the traffic problems? I mentioned the South End Bridge Rotary. That's in Agawam. There definitely needs to be work done in the adjacent communities. How can downtown Springfield benefit from this? The hotels, restaurants, things like that. Coincidentally, I had worked on the Sands Hotel and Casino when I worked in New York City, in Atlantic City, which was a transportation center, but it had 15-story hotel, 5-story garage, theaters, restaurants, etc., and all these various types of things. So things I'm very familiar with. When these are presented, I look at them, I can understand the issues very easily, and we really hope to be able to digest that and get it right back to the people of West Springfield, to the City Council, so everyone sees what exactly is going to happen, but also to dream, to imagine what could it be. We're not talking about slot machines. We're talking about really Hard Rock as an entertainment industry and what they can do for West Springfield. Is that something good for West Springfield? Let's find out. Let's bring those plans forward.
Sure. And let's say that you are chosen. What does the timeline typically look like for Hard Rock when you start to get these projects underway? Any ideas?
Sure. I think that the good news is that, you know, we're taking a lot of our time now facilitating the design, because we think it's really important to have a project that's fully designed and ready to go and presented to the state. Once that is completed, and if we were chosen to be the winner, if you will, of the Western Zone, it is probably a 22 to a 24-month construction period.
Okay, very good. Jim Allen, Chairman of Hard Rock International, Mayor Greg Neffinger, thank you so much for being here and speaking with us about this, and certainly answering some of our questions. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you, our pleasure.
Thank you.
Very good. And there has been a lot of planning and research put into bringing a casino here to Western Mass. We're going to talk to two people who've been involved in that process as well to see how this could impact our community. Stay with us. You're watching 22 News in Focus.